I am so excited to talk to you about roller coasters. Now, I want to talk about what this is not about. This is not about enjoying roller coasters. I hate them. I hate the being on a physical one. I hate being in a mental one. When I left the corporate world, I truly thought that this did not exist in businesses. I truly thought that when you start a business that you just go up, and my hands are always backwards, so you always go up and to the right, like, oh, you figure it out, maybe you have like a little low moment and then you just keep going. Whew. I would say the only thing consistent in a business is that it is consistently like a roller coaster. There are always ups and downs, but in this process, we're going to work all those things out. So my name is Emily Hawkins. I spent 15 years in the corporate world managing Fortune 500s all the way down to a small startup. And in that time, I managed teams to create one of the most productive in the organization. I left that organization to create my own business. In 2020, I was featured in Forbes for the work that I've done, and I continue to do, but that wasn't enough for me. I love running my business and working fewer hours, but I want to show you how easy it can be, how seamless this process can be, how simplified it can be. And just by embracing simplicity, information, communication, and really understanding that this doesn't have to be hard, I am here to do that. So today we are going to discuss the business roller coaster, how to manage the ups and downs in your business. So what I want us to first touch on is what this is all about, which is the roller coaster is inevitable. It's about how you react to it. So I like to think of myself as funny. I mean, you might not think I'm funny, but I think I'm funny. And so I thought it would be fun to give you the 3 main twists and turns that you're going to see inside of your business, but do it with amazing images of people terrified on roller coasters. And so I want to talk about, first and foremost, income fluctuation. And that kid in the front, I think I felt like him. The first year that I ran my business, I truly thought, again, up and to the right? Like my business is just going to grow and grow and grow. I didn't know about income fluctuations. I didn't know that some months were great and the very next month was going to suck. And suck is actually a business term that I learned in my MBA program. I'm kidding. And so I was not aware of this. And so I was very much like this kid. In fact, my thoughts around my income fluctuating were, I suck at what I do. I'm going to lose my business. Everything's going under. And then the very next month would be amazing and I would be on top of the world. And I'm like, I fixed the problem. And then the fluctuation would happen again. Well, there's actually 2 different things that could be occurring inside of your business, creating income fluctuations. And I want to discuss both. So the first one is seasonality. Christmas, that's a good example, right? Even knowing that I think Christmas starts earlier and earlier every year nowadays. But if you sell Christmas trees, you are probably not going to be selling a lot of those suckers in July. Just saying, right? Seasonality. I'm thinking about my kids going to summer camp, right? Summer camp, I'm getting all the emails now, but I didn't get summer camp emails in September or October, right? That's way too early. Nobody's buying summer camp in October. So if you have a seasonal business, just know that you're going to see seasonality. Christmas tree owners are fully aware that they are not going to get a ton of business in March, right? And this is completely normal. I can tell you in my business and businesses that I've run in the past, I looked at trends year over year and I could see the ebbs and flows. It was like every year, a similar seasonality. And once you know these, you can start predicting for them. So that's key. But there could be something else causing that income fluctuation. And the other thing that I'm referring to is actually lack of consistency. And I want you to notice these images that I have here, because nowhere in here am I saying that you are lazy. that you are sleeping or anything like that. That is not what I'm assuming. I am actually assuming what happened to me, which was I was a one-woman show at one point in my business. And I was the lady on the left with the red hair. I was marketing. I was hustling. I was doing all the things. And then I got customers, right? So then what happened? I became the person on the right. And I was serving those customers, loving those customers, spending time with them, creating change in their businesses and their lives and their careers. And I was so excited about it. But what happened? I wasn't spending time in the marketing world anymore because I was so busy serving that I was no longer creating the pipeline of people that I needed to consistently grow. And so what do you think happened? Well, I had some amazing transformations, great stories, and all the things, and I had an empty pipeline. And so my income did that. And what I will tell you, and I've shared this before, but it bears repeating, is that what you do now, you will reap the benefits from 90 days from now. So in 90 days from now, if you are not doing anything in the next 90 days, you will suffer. So if you have consistency in place, that will make all the difference. So let's talk about how you can remedy these things, because I don't want to just talk about the things. I want to talk about the remedies for them. So if your issue is seasonality, I want you to build it into your budget. So you are fully aware that at Christmas time, starting at the end of November, December timeframe, you're going to be selling the heck out of those Christmas trees. How many do you need to sell to sustain yourself for an entire year? You're a summer camp owner, right? What do you need to sell in order to sustain yourself the full year? Or do you want to have some sort of reoccurring revenue? This example comes actually from a camp that my kids go to every year. It's a sleepaway camp. They love this camp. It's so great. And as I am picking them up from this camp, because it's a sleepaway camp, they have you sign up for a discount and you can actually pay over the next 9 months for this camp. And there's no charge for this. Now, I know as a business owner, and when I say there's no charge, I mean like no upcharge, there's no interest or anything. I know from a business perspective why they're doing this. They're giving themselves reoccurring revenue over the entire year and not just getting this balloon payment, right? You can pay that way, but they're like, you don't have to, because we need your income no matter what. And if you want to give it to us on a monthly basis, that's just fine. So installment plans, or you could actually charge for services over a period of time. Or those payment plans. So you've got some options there, but you can make reoccurring payments, and that actually smooths out some of that seasonality. I have used this in the past as well. Consistency. How do you fix consistency? Well, what I would say first and foremost is leverage your needle moving activities. So when you understand what moves the needle in your business, what drives sales, what drives referrals, and that type of thing, do more of those things, right? That sounds easy, right? In the Leadership Operating System, which I created, I teach you what those are, how to identify those so that you're spending more of your time there. But it's not just about that. I would recommend leveraging your team. One of the smartest things I ever did was hire a team of people that help me market and serve. So when you have somebody that's helping you market, you're more consistent in that realm, and all of a sudden your pipeline never dries up. But also having somebody support this and the serve piece, the fulfillment piece, drives more referrals because you have better quality of work. And so having somebody in the support role, having somebody in the marketing role has given my business so much more consistency. And it's actually not as hard as you would think. Now, the next one, I love this kid. I love that this grandmother and this little boy look terrified. I would look like this. I do not ride roller coasters. I just want to say that for the record. I think I would throw up on one. But the second shift or twist and turn that you can see from the roller coaster world is marketing shifts, right? This scares the pants off of grandma and this boy. It can scare your team. It can scare you. Now, what could this actually mean? Well, all of a sudden there's competition. So I know when I have been a part of new business models. I was a part of several different businesses that were like the only game in town for a while. And I will tell you that it's really great when you are the only game in town. But when competition enters the realm, the game changes. You have to up your game because somebody else is coming in with a little me too. Oh, we can do that too, right? And so that can be scary or it can be empowering. The other piece, though, is that you could have lack of innovation. So just for a minute, I want you to think about, when was the last time that you revamped your offering? When was the last time you thought outside the box of what it is that you offer? If you've been offering the same thing for more than 2 years, it is time to revamp the thing. Offer more, offer something different, doing it in less time, doing it faster, which is the same as less time. How can you revamp what you have? Because lack of innovation kills businesses, in my opinion, faster than anything else. I look at Blockbuster. Blockbuster is a great example. BlackBerry. I used to carry a freaking BlackBerry, right? I remember when they were called RIM, and they were the only game in town, and we all had them, and we all loved them, and that was our thing, right? And then Apple entered the market, and Samsung and LG and all these other big, smartphone people. And all of a sudden, RIM went away. Netflix entered the game. On-demand television entered the game. And all of a sudden, Blockbuster went away. Well, I want to talk about what your remedies for these specific things should be. Let's think about the competition piece. So you can let competition scare you, right? And that's fine. Give yourself a few minutes to get scared. I'm a huge fan of being scared. Just fully feeling a feeling and then doing something about it. And the main thing I want you to do is research their product and marketing. So if it's a cheaper product, buy the thing. Buy the thing, look at the thing, understand the thing. Go to their website, do some research. Don't get scared off, get curious. I think curiosity is one of the most undervalued skills that can make you money and sustain your business in really, really powerful ways if you let it. So go research the competition. Go do some shopping. If you're afraid to do it, tell your friend to do it. Then it's not tied to you. There's nothing wrong with that. They did it. Clearly they did it because they are now your competition. So learning from them is huge, but it's not just about doing that research and saying, oh, our stuff's better, right? That doesn't change anything. What I would love for you to do is revamp your offer. And so again, like I was saying before, if you have an offer that you've had for more than 2 years, it is time to reinvent that. Think of all the things that have changed over the past 2 to 3 years. So many different things. I feel like our world just speeds up in innovation. It doesn't slow down. I was born in 1981. From 1981 to 1991, I think things changed. But when I think of things from 2010 to 2020, wow, giant shifts, right? Giant shifts. And if I did 2013 to 2023, like, wow, right? And so don't be afraid to revamp your offer and what's inside of that. So your product and your offering. The reason I said offer versus product, though, is because a lot of us like to think that there's something wrong with our product. But if people haven't experienced your product, there's nothing wrong with the product. It's the offer that you are putting out in the world that's actually the problem. People don't know how it fits in their world. So think about the offering, the pricing, what it actually entails, all the things. And then I would also recommend not doing this by yourself. Get your team involved. Your team is full of people that are smarter than you. Yes, let's get over the fact that you had an idea and it worked for a while. That is so wonderful. Go you. I did too. And then the market shifted, right? But who were the best people to help me with this? The people that had worked with our customers. They had interacted with our teams, our people, all of the things. And in the Leadership Operating System, I actually give you a plan for how to do this in an hour. So over an hour, how to generate more ideas, lucrative ones, and act on the profitable ones in less time than you ever thought possible. Because your team is full of people from different unique vantage points that can add innovative ideas to your business. I love this little girl. I was like, I just have to use this picture because I think she's hilarious. And if I were on a roller coaster, I think I would she must be my kid or something. I just feel like I would look like this. The third thing is changing team dynamics. And I also felt like this face matched because I think this is the most surprising twist and turn in our business, right? We're like, getting income, the market shifting, of course, but somehow we forget that our team changes. And again, just like the other ones, there are two main reasons why this occurs. Now, the first one is life changes. Somebody on your team has a baby, right? If you think that's not going to change your life, I am here as a mother of two to tell you it will definitely change your life. But maybe they want to leave to be a stay-at-home mom or dad. Maybe the baby has some sort of medical issues. Maybe they have an elderly parent they need to take care of. And then maybe they're moving. So if you have a physical brick and mortar location and people need to be in your building, and the family moved because the wife got a different job, the husband got a different job, whatever it is, that's going to affect your business. So whether your team is just awesome and loves everything and they're loyal and they're excited, these things still happen, right? They happen all the time. But there is something else that could be happening. And I actually witnessed this with a company that I worked with, where I embedded myself for 4 months inside of their business. And it was this that I witnessed, which was a toxic work environment. And this will have more people moving in and out of your business. You'll end up with one of those revolving doors where people are just constantly in and out, in and out, in and out, because they come in, they see how dysfunctional it is, and they leave. And so all of a sudden, you are put on high alert that, I've got to find new people again. I got to do this again, and I got to do this again. And what I will tell you is there are actually two remedies here. So the first one is life changes, right? Life changes, they're going to happen. It's going to happen. And in fact, if you have a toxic work environment, this is important to have in place, but we need to fix the toxic work environment too. But for life changes, you need to create a pipeline of talent waiting in the wings. So either moving people within the organization around and up and over and all of that, or knowing exactly what you need on your team and understanding how to attract that talent no matter what your budget is, and onboarding those people in a way that makes them want to stay and become loyal. That is so key. And I actually teach this inside the Leadership Operating System because it is so important and it's not complex. Once you actually build this pipeline, it's amazing how much this roller coaster piece doesn't bother you anymore, because you're like, I got this. I know who I need. I know how I need to train them. I know the needle moving action, and let's do this. Go have your baby. Go move to another place. We will find talent. It's okay. Now, the toxic environment's a little different, right? The first one is you really need to reevaluate your leadership style, and you need to become stable. And so I wanted to walk through this. I've talked about this before, but I don't think I could talk about this enough. So I'm going to share with you again the two types of organizations that I've seen over the years: the productive one, the stable environment, and the mean environment that is the toxic one. So the main reason I want to do this is because if this is something that your business needs to remedy, you need to know that this is you. And so I wanted to share with you what a toxic environment typically entails, because you may or may not be aware of it. So I love an acronym. And so I use the word mean to talk about what a toxic environment looks like. And if you are a key leader or you are someone that owns a business, I want you to think about you, not your team, not how your boss is treating you or anything like that. I want you to think about yourself. So how are you coming across? So micromanaging. If you are micromanaging, which you think is actually helping people, right? Because you want to make sure that things are done well. So you're like, oh, let me make sure that all these tasks are done. And hey, when you finish that, send it to me so I can approve it. And you just have this control over everything, because when you started your business, you had control over everything. And now you're terrified of losing that control. And so you're making sure that everyone is like doing their work, and you're suffocating people. You're suffocating them. Think of your mom for a minute. I love my mother, but if she gave me advice as a 40, almost 2-year-old woman, I would get so upset. That's micromanaging, right? I know the things. So when you're onboarding somebody, of course, but once they're onboarded, you need to trust those people. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Then there's egotistical. Ooh, this is something that a lot of us don't like to think that we are. We don't have egos. I don't have ego. I love my team. I love my customers. This business is life-giving, and I just love what I do, and there's no ego involved. Unless you are requiring your team to do things that you personally are not doing. So, hey, everybody needs to show up at the meeting earlier on time. That is key in this business, except you always show up late. You need to have your work completed on time, except you are the roadblock. There's where you're not meeting what you claim is important to the business. That is leading with your ego. All the rules apply to everyone else. I can do whatever I want. If you create a rule, my friend, you need to follow it. You need to follow it even more than everyone else. That is key. Assumption. So assume. Well, you can look at this and see that it's actually ass, you, me, right? So you can make an ass out of you and me by assuming, right? Assumption kills more dreams and more businesses than probably anything else. So Sarah, I love using the name Sarah. I have a cousin named Sarah. Sarah is not completing her work on time. As an owner, business owner, or key leader, I can assume that Sarah has a poor work ethic. Or I can actually talk to her about it and understand that her mother has been sick and she's actually in the final stages of dying with cancer. Why do I care that her work is late? Let's put some of that work on other people so that Sarah can go be with her mother. That is assumption, right? We do it every day. We don't know that we are assuming the worst in people when there's usually a logical thing there. But by assuming, we get resentful, and guess what we do? We micromanage, and guess what else we do? We nitpick. Nitpicking is micromanaging's cousin, I think, or maybe even sister, or brother, sibling. So nitpicking is where you nitpick the hell out of what people are doing, rather than saying, oh my gosh, I love that you did this and this. This is beautiful. This is amazing. Let's fix this thing, right? That's way different than honing in on the one thing that went wrong and only talking about that. It will kill your team. And if you are constantly having to hire people, there's a good chance that you are doing 1, 2, or maybe all of these things. And by the way, they are built out of survival, and they are built out of you loving your business. So I don't think there's anything wrong with you. It's just that how other people perceive you will not go over well. And then there's the stable team. So I talked about what is the stable team, and I wanted to go through what this is. Seen, trust, ability, boundaries, love, and enjoyment. So as owners and key leaders, we need to make sure that our employees feel seen and heard. What does that mean? This actually comes in 2 flavors. One is I actually spend time with people and I say, I love the work that you do. It is amazing. The other way this comes into play is that Sarah, or our pal Sarah, comes to me and says, this thing on the team isn't working right because of blah, blah, blah. Is there any way we can fix this system, this process? And you go and you fix it. All of a sudden, she feels seen. You saw her issue and you fixed it. Now, so many of us, and I have been guilty of this in the past, say, oh my gosh, Sarah, I'm going to fix that thing. And then we don't. And all of a sudden, the next thing, which is trust, is broken because we are no longer following through with the things that we said. So you have to build trust on your team. And that trust comes in the form of, I say what I do, I live by the rules, You can share confidential information with me and I will not tell others on the team or, the internet or anything like that. Trust is hugely important. People will do amazing work for people that they trust. Now, ability. So last example, we talked about micromanaging. Well, ability is the exact opposite of that. Ability is where you see someone's ability, you praise their ability, and you talk about how can we utilize this ability even more. We ask for ideas. We ask for their thoughts and their input on things, and we actually utilize it. All of a sudden, this person feels loved and cared for, which is also part of this. And they want to do better work because they see that their talent is being valued. But boundaries are equally as important. So over the years, I have worked with business owners and key leaders that say they need to work on their boundaries. Totally agree. We all do, right? As a business owner, when I first started out, I do believe that if you had asked me to paint your house, I probably would have done it. It would not have been great because that's not what I do for a living, but I was desperate, my friends. I needed to make money and I needed to make it fast. Don't put yourself in a spot like that. That was 2017, Emily. Trying to figure out my business model, right? That's a boundaries issue, right? But I'm talking about boundaries with your team. So just because your business is your baby does not mean that it is everyone else's baby. It does not mean that Sarah, poor Sarah, gosh, she just had a rough day today, right? Sarah doesn't want to work on crap in your business at 2 a.m. That is not fun to Sarah. Sarah wants to go to a dinner party with friends and sleep in. And she wants a life. She wants to spend time with her children and that mother and all the things, right? Your business might be your baby, but it's not everybody else's baby. And you need to honor other people's boundaries. This also comes in the form of actually understanding what those boundaries are. I will tell you a short story that I've told before, and it will probably haunt me for the rest of my life, that there was somebody on my team in the corporate world that just, she was great at what she did. I loved working with this woman. And I will tell you that what I did was I assumed, right? We know where this is going. I assumed that she wanted to do more because she was a rock star. So I started giving her more and more and more and more. And guess what else I did? I nitpicked it. So recipe for disaster. Come to find out, she storms in my office. I'm leaving this organization. I hate working for you. I don't think she said I hate working for you, but yeah, she pretty much said that. She said, nothing I do is right. You just keep piling on more work. And in that moment, I found out later from another employee that she really just wanted to stay where she was because she and her wife were trying to have a baby and they wanted to start a family. And so she was really happy where she was and didn't want to do anything else or bring on anything else because she was about to change a lot of other things in her life. I never asked. I assumed that a rock star would always want more. That was a hard lesson to learn, except it has helped me become a better leader with every single person that I have brought on board since then. I constantly ask, do you want to do more? Or do you want to do less? Do you want to do more? Or do you want to do less? Because that changes. It changes over time. Sometimes we want to do less. Can we take some things off because I got these other things going on? Okay, let's do that. You know what? I'm ready for more. What about this and this? Awesome, let's do it. It is a constant conversation that you need to be having. Communication is something that we don't use enough. Boundaries are key. And then love your employees. Love them. Don't give them hugs. I think that's like a sexual harassment lawsuit waiting to happen, unless maybe they want a hug, but that's a whole other topic. That's not the kind of love I'm talking about. I'm also not talking about having an affair at work. Not the kind of love we are discussing here. I actually mean love language. So I don't know if you've ever read the 5 love languages. It applies at work except for that physical touch thing. So we'll get that out and we'll talk about 4 love languages. 1 is words of affirmation. You are doing a great job. 1 is gifts, here's a spa gift card. Another one is actually spending time, quality time with people. And there's one more, and I'm totally blanking on it, but actually in the leadership operating system, I walk you through all of these. But what I want to share about love is if you're speaking in the wrong dialect, you're going to not make people happy. So if I'm just wielding out gift cards to everyone and, acts of service, that's what the other one is, acts of service. So I'm wheeling out gift cards, right, to all these people. And really they're words of affirmation, people. That love that you think you're putting out there is falling flat on your team. So loving your team in the way that they understand is key. And then finally, enjoyment. I don't want to go to a workplace that I hate working. I actually want to have fun at work. I want to enjoy an inside joke with the team. I want to have fun staff meetings where we don't shower. My team, we don't shower when we have staff meetings. It's like a rule or something at this point. I mean, you can shower, but we just choose not to. Typically, there's a kid that walks in. It's hilarious. We joke about it, right? We have fun with what we do because life is too short not to. And people want to stick around places that are fun. And so having your team enjoy what they do, which also comes in seeing them, trusting them, and having them trust you, loving their ability, giving them boundaries, loving them in the language that makes sense for them. That is all creating enjoyment in the workplace. So we have spent this time on a roller coaster of emotions in your business, and I am excited for you to go out there and actually not feel like you're on a roller coaster anymore, to feel like these ebbs and flows that happen in your business are completely normal. It's okay. Now, if you would like to schedule a 15-minute clarity call with me to diagnose if these areas are working for you, if your business is actually in a sustainable place, I would love to make that happen. Just put SHIFT in the comments. That's SHIFT. A little spelling bee trial for me just there. And I would love to contact you and have that 15-minute discussion, the clarity call, to figure out if your business is in a sustainable place or if there needs to be some sort of change in there to help it grow. I hope that you have a wonderful day.